Is this a sign that BTS is truly heading toward a breakup? Why did Taehyung speak out publicly? And what has made Jungkook look so anxious in recent days? A shocking statement came from Kim Taehyung, also known as BTS's V, who openly said that BTS will never be the same again. The statement was delivered during a closed interview that leaked to the public. That sentence sparked widespread speculation among ARMY and the South Korean public, including deep concern from Jungkook, the youngest member of the group. Internal sources mentioned that Jungkook even began to question BTS's future direction and the worst possibility, disbandment. Taehyung's statement didn't cause a stir without reason. In the midst of ongoing military service for most members, including himself, a statement about BTS's future emerged with an air of uncertainty. "I'm not sure everything will go back to the way it was," said Taehyung in a snippet of the interview re-uploaded by several Korean news outlets. That sentence raises a big question. What is really happening behind the scenes? According to observers of the Korean entertainment industry, this situation is not just ordinary emotional unease. There are serious dynamics at play. One source mentioned that physical distance and differing visions among BTS members have started to become increasingly apparent. Some members are reportedly beginning to consider permanent solo projects, while others are starting to question whether staying together in BTS is still viable without sacrificing their individuality. But on the other hand, Jungkook showed a very different response. In a post on the official fan community, he wrote a long message that was reflective and full of concern. "I don't want to lose what we've built together," he wrote. The message quickly triggered an emotional wave from fans, interpreting that Jungkook is feeling threatened by the possibility of BTS disbanding. Jungkook's statement is seen as a form of hidden panic. He is known as the member most emotionally attached to BTS's identity as a group, not just as a business entity. Jungkook has always been the first to express loyalty to BTS, even when the pressure to pursue a solo career began to rise intensely. When news about Taehyung distancing himself from group activities began to spread, Jungkook reportedly asked HYB label's management for a direct explanation. HYB itself has not provided a reassuring official statement. They only said that group activities will be discussed again after all members complete their military service. However, for many observers and armies, this statement feels too normative and insufficient to address the anxiety sparked by Taehyung's words. A former BTS staff member who wished to remain anonymous said that since last year, there have been several moments of internal tension that were unknown to the public. Their relationship isn't bad, but it's not as harmonious as before. They've grown. They each have their own life perspectives, and that has started to make them rethink the future of the group, the source said. The fact that Taehyung is the only member who dared to voice doubt about BTS's future actually shows that this issue is not simple. He is known as a quiet but calculated figure. When he finally speaks out, many believe he is voicing the sentiments of other members who are not yet ready to say the same publicly. Meanwhile, the ARMY community is now divided between those who support the members' individual paths and those who still want BTS to remain whole as before. Some are even beginning to prepare for the worst. Online petitions titled Save BTS have started to emerge, with thousands of signatures urging HYB to immediately declare a long-term commitment to the group's continuity. Concerns are growing stronger because this situation is happening amid global uncertainty and heavy pressure on the K-pop industry. Many groups have experienced cracks after their members found success in solo projects. BTS, although at the peak of the industry, is not immune to these dynamics. The question now is, does BTS still have a future as a unified group, or are we witnessing the beginning of their end? The tension between collective idealism and individual aspirations seems increasingly unavoidable. Taehyung has opened the door to a serious conversation that previously only echoed behind the scenes. And Jungkook, with all his emotions, becomes a mirror of the anxiety felt by millions of fans around the world. If no official clarification comes soon, This unrest could turn into the biggest existential crisis BTS has faced since their debut in 2013. This situation is a reminder that even a group as strong and legendary as BTS is not immune to the realities of time, differing visions, and the burden of global expectations. Now all eyes are on HYB and the BTS members themselves. Will they strengthen the bonds that are beginning to fray, or choose their own paths for the sake of personal freedom? One thing is certain, Taehyung's statement has become a turning point. And Jungkook's concern marks that behind all the glitz of achievements, there is a void that cannot be ignored. BTS is standing at a crossroads, and the world is watching, holding its breath. But amid the intense emotional reactions sparked by Taehyung's statement and Jungkook's anxiety, a much deeper and fundamental question arises. Is all of this truly real? Or are we part of a grand narrative deliberately constructed to stir global attention? It's important to note that most of the information spreading, especially the ones causing public uproar, comes from TikTok video clips, YouTube audio snippets, speculative tweets on Twitter, X, and articles from online media outlets, not all of which have accountable journalistic credibility. In today's fast-moving information world, we must ask, is it possible we are being manipulated by algorithms and sensationalism? Did Taehyung truly express concern about BTS's future, or have his words been cut, twisted, and directed to create a particular narrative? If we return to the basic logic of public communication, why wasn't such an important statement delivered through official channels? Why has there been no direct clarification from HYB in a reasonable time frame? And why is Jungkook the only one who appears emotional, while the other members remain silent? Doesn't silence also say a lot? It could mean agreement, discomfort, or even a deliberate crisis control strategy. This situation becomes more complicated because the public, especially ARMY, BTS's loyal fans, have such a deep emotional attachment to the group. In such a condition, are we still capable of being objective? Are the anger, panic, and disappointment we feel right now truly grounded in reality? Or are they merely reactions to a constructed narrative that has not been fully verified? However, we also cannot immediately accuse everything of being fabricated. It's possible that the feelings expressed by Taehyung and Jungkook are sincere, born from exhaustion, mental pressure, and internal struggles that have lasted for years since they became public figures. In a world where the line between privacy and public consumption has nearly vanished, the pressure on K-pop artists to always appear perfect can become an unbearable burden. So, have we as the public gone too far in dragging them into inhuman expectations? We as information providers feel the need to emphasize that this article was compiled based on various public and open sources spread across the digital space and cannot be fully verified for accuracy. Therefore, we invite all of you to remain skeptical, critical, and not immediately believe every narrative that arises, no matter how emotional and convincing the news is delivered. Finally, we invite you to reflect and discuss. Don't let emotion override logic. Don't let viral news be the sole source of truth. Instead, use this moment to learn to be a smart, critical, and reflective public. Because in today's information era, truth is not only about what we hear, but about how we choose to understand it.